Okay, hello, Mgtows. Mgtows. Let me change over to the Mgtow sign. Hello, Mgtows. Go your own way, and all your sins are forgiven. And it's Friday Night Fight Club. Is it Friday Night Fight? No, it's not Friday Night. I don't feel like doing Night Fight Club. I just got in, and a little while ago I rushed to get this up and everything, so I'm a little disjointed still. I had to shave. Can you tell I shaved? Can you tell? Can you tell? Let me see if I'm disjointed still. I had to shave. There's okay. Sounds good and everything. Hello, Black Wolf. Black Wolf wants to come and he's always welcome. Just let me know if you want to come. And I still have to put the stuff up, the banners and the comments. Okay, there's the comments up, so I can see what you guys are talking about because I'm on a totally different page away. And how y'all doing today? It's Friday night, isn't it, Angela?
Yes. I got stabbed this morning at breakfast, but I'm doing okay now, recovering.
Did it heal up good?
Yeah, I did. I got it bandaged up and ready to go.
I hate the morning stabbings because Claire flies across the room and she gets you right in the back.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere. I mean, she can throw that knife from about 300 yards with accuracy. So
nice. I told you the story about the can of soup. Did I?
Yeah.
Oh man, I was coming out to. It was like I had like 30 minutes to get to work. It took 20-minute drive. I had 10 minutes to get ready. I was like run through the shower. I yelled up. I says, "Hey baby, why don't you make me a sandwich or something?" And then so on the way out the door, I'm late. So I get up there and she's sitting at the table looking at me. She goes, "Make your own sandwich." So I was like, "Oh, F it. I just won't eat lunch." And I went out the back door and I'm heading towards the car. And I'm really hurrying. It's like 22 minutes. I got 22 minutes. I know I'm going to have to speed and risk getting a ticket going there. And she took a can of soup.
Wow.
And she threw it and she hit me right in the back of the head.
Wow.
I just turned around. I was like, "Good shot." I picked up the soup and I said, "Thank you." But man, they are good at throwing things, aren't they? You don't think they're good? They would make good pitchers.
Well, I remember when I was a kid, my sister we got in an argument. I was probably about 10 or 11, and she just out of nowhere just slapped me right in the face. And it's like I just looked at her and she looked at me, and I was like,
"Yeah, they do those violent little acts, and then they expect them not to be seen."
Yeah. They're ridiculous. They have there's no consequences to their behavior. You see it over and over again.
I actually seen an amazing shot once. It was just Jeffrey. Jeffrey lived across the street, and he was a little terror. And Michael was he was kind of the geeky, intelligent kid on the street, and so I went over to see Michael, and Jeffrey comes bolting out of the house, and Mrs. whatever Gobbenschlauber, I won't say the last name on the podcast, but she come out and she had her shoe, and it was like one of those old cogs, the hippie girls used to wear.
Yeah,
they were the wooden cogs, and he was a good 50 yards down, almost into the woods. He had almost made the woods, and she just took that and it hit him right in the back of the head. It was like, I was like, "Your mom's a really good thrower." Yeah, but yeah. So those stories, you see them, but it is about violence, isn't it? And they get away with violence, and we have to grow up with that as it's the war against boys, where we're the victims, and then we look like. I mean, anytime the cops show up, they would just turn and say, "He did this, he did that," and then you would end up in jail. But really, it doesn't happen like that in real life.
It happens the opposite. I had a friend whose his wife was attacking him one day, and sure enough, he's in jail. A couple hours later.
Yeah,
stuff like that happens all the time.
Yeah, stuff like that happens all the time. I've never seen a guy in my life just haul off and hit a girl. I've never seen it because that's kind of a rule. You just don't do it. It had to be an extreme case where there was like knives, or she pulled a knife, or she tried to murder him, like, so happens so often, and or she just relentlessly nagged for hours, and that's a shame. Our society doesn't see that. They don't see men as equal in these things. There was a recent article that came out that was the New York Times actually put it out that said violence against men is equal to violence against women. And for the New York Times to say that, it's like really, really. So people are waking up because we're afraid. We're no longer afraid to say it, are we?
No, we have to speak up because they just continually take advantage.
And yeah, that's sort of the title I put up. It's a learning process. It's a learning when to say no, stop, go. It's a learning process because, man, we're simps. All your Simpsons are forgiven. We are simps when we're younger. We sign up for that thing. We think it's the way to go, and then we realize somewhere down the road here that our own demons are what's giving us the problem. We've seen that in the other guy the other day. Was that a hard? I noticed you're kind of you flowed into that this year, where you realize that feminism wasn't born in a vacuum. That traditional tradcon bullshit that they wanted to be fat, naked, and pregnant in the kitchen and making their bed and doing their laundry and being their slave, that was the reason for feminism.
Yeah, of course. It was a response to that slavery.
Yeah, it was a response. The girls do that naturally. The girls have no inclination to be aggressive naturally, but that man, I don't want to be a slave, and you don't want to be a slave, and they don't want to be a slave. And in America, we should have no slavery, and there should be no what you do with your body, your choice, everything. And that goes down into my theory about fatherhood and everything. You don't get a slave. You don't get a slave daddy father. You don't get if you want to have a child, it's your body. I can't have a child. She has a child. It's your body. You make that decision. You pick the guy you want to be the DNA donor on that. And it's not his fault. It's your fault. But that comes from the idea that all traditionalism and all tradcuckism is gone. And men have to grow up, don't they?
Well, and it goes back to who benefits from traditionalism. It's always going to be the rich, right? Because they're it's like a bait and switch. They're the ones that set up the traditional institutions,
right?
And they're benefiting from that. They're benefiting from that big time because it allows them to control populations, obviously control men.
Yeah, control men.
They control women too. Controls women too. It's not just the men.
Right, control women and men, because you have a baby mama that needs support then, and you have a daddy that they need to put in slavery, and then there's an honor code that says they're allowed to do that, and she's allowed to be polygamous then, and that's a horrible system. That is such a barbaric system when you think about it.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
That it almost blows my mind sometimes when I think about we fought the Civil War to get rid of the two tenets of barbarism, and it's back, and it just took a different form. And the rich and the wealthy and those in them groups that they like the system as it is. And it's a horrible, awful system that puts men in slavery and makes slaves into housewives into slaves, and they like that, and that's the way they want it, and they'll fight for that. We see it all the time. We see it in politics. We see it in they think they're right, and if they ever had that Mgtow awakening, and they've seen how horrible they are.
Mm-hmm.
That would probably it would shatter their world, smash their mind, and they'd probably commit suicide, wouldn't they?
Of course, I remember a story I reading about a doctor in New York City. He like jumped off a bridge. He was facing a divorce, and I don't know, he lose all his money, and he was just going through a lot of stress, and so it causes you to cause that guy to go temporarily insane, and then he killed himself. And it's a highly educated doctor, a good doctor in New York City, one of the top doctors in the country probably. And, he just jumped off a bridge. That's, you don't do that in your right mind. It's like, of course, you're not going to do something like that. But he was so stressed out and so distraught. And that's the power that women have, and especially, in that traditional setup.
Yeah, if you involve yourself in that and you volunteer for that, they have so much power over you in your life. And
Right.
you gave it to them because you wanted that one thing, that picket fence, that nice house. And like, Dostoevsky said, that house ain't nothing. It don't look the same from the inside as it does look from the outside. It looks all pretty from the outside, but when you get in there, two people have to live together, and they're raising kids, and they hate each other, and that there's the re-hatred ship, and you can't get away, and you're stuck. You're trapped as a male. Then you're trapped by honor codes and those cultural norms that are bizarre. Slavery norms, that you will be their slave now, and the courts will enforce that. And I think that's the worst part, that our courts enforce slavery nowadays.
Did you say re-hatred ship? Long-term re-hatred ship?
Re-hatred ship. Yeah, that's the suffering.
F and F. Yeah, F and F. Fight and fuck.
Fight and fuck. Yeah. Yeah, F and F. Long-term re-hatred ship. Yeah, they all know they do it, but they won't know.
Well,
we don't.
And then you got these yahoos that think, oh, I'm going to go to Vietnam or Cambodia or like Mexico. I'm going to find this like unicorn, and she's going to carry a pail for me, and like like she's going to do all this yard work for me, and I'm just going to relax, and she's going to sit on me anytime I want sex, and lay down and relax all day. And they're big suckers too. Like that one guy making fun of Vention. What a clown he was.
What a clown he was, making fun. And he's making fun of a guy like Vention. He's one of the weakest ones of us, and he's so vulnerable. And this guy was, he thought, because when you look at his personality type, he wants to dominate his female. He wants to dominate. He wants that traditional trad cuck female where he could just dominate. That's what he wants in men too. If he finds a man that's weak, he will try to dominate him.
Yeah, Mr. X. I think his name is Mr. X.
Yeah, Mr. X. That's the bullies. The true alpha. You study wolf packs. That's something Black Wolf could tell us about. If you study wolf packs, the true alpha doesn't beat up the betas. It protects the betas.
Yeah.
If you can see it in horse herds, the true alpha is there, and the alphas protect. They protect the whole community.
Yeah, that's right.
The bullies like that, the IUD males and the bullies, them are the ones that have to go. Them are the ones that don't understand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So to talk anytime. Okay, I'm going to send Black Wolf the link. He wants to come in and talk today. It's a good day to talk. We're just shooting the shit. I'm going to send it to I just sent it to the blah, 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 Monk Mgtow Black Wolf on Hangouts.
Yeah, but what a terrible human being that guy is. You got Vention's he's trying to fight his cancer, and he's just just totally making fun of Vention, and then meanwhile he's got this Vietnamese
slave
or whatever slave. Yeah, he's just
slave.
He probably treats her like crap, she doesn't have a lot of options, I guess, out in Vietnam. She's probably living off of rice, and and at least he can give her a piece of steak every now and then or something.
He's probably got some kind of income that he made in America. He said he was from America, and he got and I don't know if he left his kids and his wife or whatever. That doesn't matter to me because that doesn't concern me, but he's probably got some kind of income, and he looks like well, she stays around because life's better and life's worse.
Right. She must think in her head, this guy's a total toolbox.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
Can you imagine? Yeah, she knows he's a toolbox.
She knows he's a toolbox. Yeah, women aren't stupid. Is one thing they are not. Is there's 2 million years of evolution in there where they know how to get what they want, and they're not stupid.
Yeah.
Hey, you wanna do a sound test?
This thing on?
Yeah.
How's it going, man? How you doing?
Oh, it's going great, man. I'm happy I was able to catch the stream. You got me in a great time. Just came in, got done pulling weeds and everything.
Oh, God. You pulling weeds already?
Yeah, I forgot to mow the lawn, and the weeds kind of took over. So I had to go out there and pull the ones I couldn't cut.
Oh man, that's going to start around here soon. It's going to get warmer next week, and then like it's sunny those first 2 days, and then all of a sudden I'm going to have to photograph. Oh, I hate mowing.
Yes,
If I can get a kid around to do it, I do it. I'm just,
dude. I hate mowing the lawn so much that I either pay my nephew or get one of my like god kids to do it, and they're like, "Why don't you do it?" I was like, my knees hurt. I don't go out there and do that. That's just too much. But
if you
you're
can,
right. Oh, huh?
if you can afford it, pay someone to do it, and you're doing the kids a favor. And this time, where kids are in my neighborhood, there's a lot of really I live in the greatest neighborhood, and it's like it's a small poor town, and the kids need to work, and teaches them responsibility, and they need the money. Sometimes I see the kids wanting for stuff, and it breaks my heart.
Yeah, I mean, they really like it sucks for them to be inactive and living sedentary like that. That's why, he comes over and mows lawn. It's actually pretty funny. Sometimes, he'll bring drinks and whatnot. I mean,
Yeah.
I one day told him it was actually pretty funny. You guys might laugh about this because you know how kids normally drink Smirnoff and shit. He kept bringing me Smirnoff, and I said, "Kid, grow some balls and bring some whiskey, please."
Yeah,
I
get
can't,
some doers. Get some doers, please.
yeah. I can't I can't drink that Smirnoff shit, man. I could barely even stomach vodka anymore. When I was younger, sure, but I had to cut back and I just stick to Scotch whiskey and it's just a lot easy bourbon, Scotch whiskey, stuff like that. And
Okay,
well,
it's to your mic.
oh, sorry, let me turn my fan off. That's my fan.
It's
That's a big
blowing. You can hear the wind hitting it. Something. It was either
yeah.
the
It's like
people.
it's
There you
like
go.
super it's like super hot. That's why. But yeah, I'm good now. But yeah, I just told him I just stick to Scotch whiskey and everything. But that thing you were saying about the Wolves is actually right. I get so pissed off when I see these Chad Cucks and damn Tyrones and
Yeah,
Pookies, Ray Rays. They'll walk around saying, "Oh, I'm an alpha." And the funny part about it is Wolves don't even act that way. I mean,
don't
the
say
alpha. Hmm?
wolves don't act that way.
Yeah, wolves don't even. And you were very right when you were saying that because a lot of people don't even know that the alpha wolf doesn't walk around beating the hell out of the other wolves. Quite the opposite. He knows that he needs them idiots. He
Yeah,
knows that, and
yeah,
so he only enforces like he's only there to keep the peace and keep everybody from like fighting one another. He'll go out do his own little thing, kind of like Shadow over here. Shadow knows that outside of me, he don't have to listen to anybody else. So I guess I'm alpha for him. And when he's by himself, he's his own alpha. But the thing with betas are normally ones that kind of stay with the herd, and then
yeah,
they send the sigma out there. The sigma is the scout. The sigma can fight,
yeah,
but he'd rather fight with the herd. Like just sigma's close isn't a beta. It's lower than a beta, but it
yeah,
has a weird alpha-ish personality to where it will fight you if pushed into a corner. But betas don't normally venture past their pack. They bring their whole pack with them because they're not the type to fight on their own. And the reason the betas don't fight on their own is because they uh they understand their strength in numbers, and they also like the betas have lost numerous freaking times, either against each other or against the alpha. So no one fights the alpha because they know they're going to lose. And
yeah.
so
In human society, everybody just kind of you look at the alpha, you know the alpha. We're smart enough to realize that there's an alpha in the room, and you don't want to fight him. But he's supposed to have the characteristics I'm here for the whole herd, and that's
yeah,
I mean that's the way it works in a communal situation. And there's a lot of alphas. There's a lot of different types of human alphas, but if that system breaks down and they all become Chad cucks, you know, and we've seen this guy. What was his name, Joey?
Mr. X.
Mr. X. He was picking on. Did you see the guy picking on Vention?
oh no, I think I missed that. What was that?
Oh my God, it was horrible. He was cutting into poor Vention and just saying some of the worst things in the whole world. And I was thinking, well, that guy's not a Mgtow. He doesn't even know how to get along in the pack.
Dang. I wish those kind of guys would come at me, to be honest with you, because on my channel I'm seldomly ever challenged because it's pretty funny. Even my own subs know this at this point. If someone tries to out clown me on my own stage, I will just make them part of the performance. I do it all the time, and it's something I learned back when I used to perform and whatnot. If someone's going to interrupt your performance, don't get mad. Sit back and let them do it, because at the end of the day, you're reaping the benefits of it anyway. So they're saving you time.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just the way you kind of have to go about it, and it's
Which
I
is
wish.
it brings up a good question about people getting along in Mgtow and us trying to work more like a community, more like a pact, more like a, because we're getting hammered now, and it's coming from every direction, and there's a lot more of those trad cucks than us, and
Yeah.
unless we all stick together, but we see the certain Mgtow, the Mgtow light, I call them, the Mgtow, the frat boy Mgtows that really quite don't understand the whole process. They're competing against the other Mgtows. So.
Yeah, I feel you on that. And I will be making a video calling out those entry level guys, because they haven't come after me yet, but I have seen some of the stupid things that they've been doing. And as mean as this is to say, I mean, someone really needs to kind of kick them down a peg, because I get so sick of the PUAs and the frat boy mentality. I often send them to PUA channels, or like go listen to this life coach. Don't bring that kind of shit around here. And it's
Go see the MRAs. They'll tolerate them, and they love them, and they want to. All they want is girls to get back in their place and in the kitchen, fat and pregnant, and that's a horrible thing. That tells about their personality. I mean, they probably never had a friend that was a female in their life that they didn't try to hump on her leg,
yeah.
like a little poodle.
That's why these guys are fucking pathetic, man. I'll just outright say it. I remember watching this video, and I think I pissed off a slew of black dudes, because there was these I call them these porcelain bitches, these four blondes. Like, they got caught on YouTube, and they apologized and whatever, but it didn't matter. They were talking about how desperate these dudes were going after them. To one of them even said, "Oh, I bet I can get some dude to like to drink her urine or whatever." And I was making I was making fun of all those dudes. I'm like, see, this woman right here is telling you that she disses you, and you're still walking around saying every woman's a freaking angel. And my whole thing is, how we as men, just all across the spectrum, just have we reached a new low collectively, to where we'll just take anything?
Yeah, collectively, because we see it in the incels and the pee beggars mostly. Man, it's almost to a point of they've lost all their dignity. There is no honor left.
Yeah, it's pretty pathetic. I mean, like, I'm okay with everybody having a preference and anything like me. I've never really cared one way or the other, but it's just these men have no damn standards, man. They got mad at me because I said all I see is men and women. I don't discern myself between the different racial backgrounds of women, and one of them asked why, and I said because at the end of the day, does it have tits and a vagina? Okay, then I already expect that it's going to do one of three things, and one of them involves pissing me off.
Yeah.
So
yeah, if they're still at that, they're going to turn on you eventually, and they're
oh
going to
yeah.
and you got to expect that. And with my friends, even if they're dating, eventually there's going to be that day where they're going to choose that over the friendship, and I know that.
I've lost friends like that, man. A lot of if you can believe this, and back in my younger days, I think I must have been 27, 28 when it happened. So a few years back, I had a friend who he was around the same age as me, and he was dating some like 19-year-old chick or something. Way like damn near 10 years younger than us, huge age gap. And he brings her to the bar, and like, let me know your thoughts on the story after I tell you, because this was phenomenal to me. I was drinking, I had my joint and whatever, and I'm having a good time. We're celebrating another friend's birthday. He turned like 38. I bought him like a cane and everything. We're all having fun. We're having a good time. I'm messing around, and she didn't like the fact that I guess I was making jokes. She says I find Black Wolf jokes to be very misogynistic, but instead of telling me this, she tells him this. I come out of the bathroom, and he says, "Man, you can't be talking like that around like so and so." And I said, "Well, she didn't exactly try to talk to us. She took out her phone and kind of ignored the rest of us. So you're calling out my disrespect, but you won't call out hers." And he ended up stopped hanging out with me because he said, I'm a negative influence to his relationship. And I said, this is why he stopped talking to me. I told him, okay, well, are you two dating? He says, yes. Okay, do you fuck? And he said, yeah. Okay, well, I'm not receiving either of those two benefits, so I have no reason to respect her.
Yeah, now that's what I call paying for someone else's B. You'll end up he'll start expecting for you to be around for her. He'll start expecting, and those little dinner things where you pick up the bill, and there's a lot of little things where she starts costing the friends money, and I don't even do that. I don't even buy there's no pumpkin spice coffees on me.
Yeah, man, I lost a lot of friends because I refused to kiss their girlfriends' asses and shit like that.
You end up there's a dignity thing where you have to kiss their, they say stupid things, and then they disrupt a group, and in every group of males there's always these sub things we're doing jobs, we have plans, we're doing businesses, we're making business decisions, we're helping each other out. It's the community, it's the male community, and all of a sudden she's in there, and then you end up paying for that too. It disrupts the community.
That's why I hate it so much. It's this village mindset that need to go. I mean, what's so dumb about it is that men don't even help themselves. Like, at least those kind of guys don't help themselves. And this is what scares me about these new guys coming to Mgtow. I mean, I'm often very cautious, even when I disagree with other Mgtow. Yeah, I fought with a few of them, but I've never gotten so pissed off to where I go, "Oh, I'm a dox this motherfucker," and stuff like that. But there have been people there've actually been at least two people that tried to dox me, which is why I don't really deal with it more. And a lot of those guys, one, because I don't talk about race shit. I told them I don't want, like, that's not a place like for Mgtow. Like, every now and then, sure, but that shouldn't be the main focal point. And when one guy came very close to doing this, dude, back when I had a Facebook, I don't have it anymore. Dude sees my Facebook, or at least back when I was lifting weights. It was an old picture.
Yeah.
And he backed off real quick. I mean, the guy already knows where I am, but he just backed off real quick for us. Because I told him, yeah, you could do that. You won't live long enough to reap the benefits, but yeah, you could do that. I'll get on my bike and we could do that. But these guys just they come to cause trouble, and they could just stay on the plantation if they're going to do that.
Yeah, that's why I do this. It's just I've got nothing to hide, but and I'm not ashamed of who I am or what I am in this world and everything. I always say I keep a clear view onto my house and onto me, what I am. Anybody can take a look and realize that I'm a pretty decent person, all in all. And but there was a while there where I would just put my avatar up there, and I'd talk, and all the doxing came from other men in Mgtow. All the red flags came from all the other men in Mgtow because they were jealous, because they needed to knock me off, and it used to drive SFM nuts. He used to be, why do they always come after you, Trav? I said, I guess you got to get through me to become they want to be the next Neo, and it just really started bothering me. All my Mgtow at that point, like 2 or 3 years ago, for me was one of the biggest disappointments in my life is what Mgtow was turning into. It was like I had to step back for a while and say, I know I just have to renegotiate this. And that's when I started putting my face up and everything and say, no, I'm not going to put up with that.
And I commend you for doing that because sometimes I have to take breaks and everything. I'm honestly happy that I only have like a couple hundred subscribers, and because it keeps me somewhat relevant, but not like I'm not like the centerpiece and like are popular enough to be attacked. And but these guys, I mean, you approach it respectfully, and that's what I like. But hell, you see my videos, man. I ream into someone when they
I watch one of
when they
these
come after me.
tearing into somebody.
Yeah, I go off on them. So, so some of them understand you have to, especially some of these new guys, you have to almost go at them like a fucking drill sergeant because then they'll back the hell off. Because one guy, one other Mgtow is well aware of, or at least has a good idea of who I am, and he backed off. I never had to worry about him like speaking up. And my whole reason why I don't show my face is just because I'm a private person as a whole, man. I live in the woods, and it's not out of vanity or out of fear. It's just I don't like. I talk a lot of shit, and I don't need the heat, you know.
Yeah, I don't. Oh yeah, people are people. Yeah, yeah. The new guys in Mgtow, it's you said the other day, Kubler Ross, and it's like they extend themselves. I mean, they think they know everything, and then they try to make Mgtow into their idea of Mgtow, which is kind of Mgtow lighty and maybe more PUA and not very well thought out through and everything, or maybe they're just going through a breakup with a girl or something, and they try to make it into that. They're trying to find another girl while protecting their delicate ego.
Yeah, that's why yeah, you gotta be careful with these assholes that try to terraform shit. Because I've run into a few of them in there. They're pretty damn visceral, man. It's like touching a viper or something. And I hate that shit because we should be able to trust one another somewhat to not have to get into that. And this is why
Yeah,
I got mad.
is what it
Oh,
is, and there's very few rules in here, and we all know the rules. And these guys want to terraform the rules. It's like make it into some flat frat boy club where they're just going out and hitting it and quitting it and putting themselves at risk and like acting like a bunch of college frat boys.
yeah, that's why I get on for that. I had to tell this guy named Mgtow Luigi. I don't know what the hell his name is now, but I ended up telling this dude that we are not a PUA alt right circle jerk. He can go, team up with the track cons. That's not what Mgtow is for. It's more of a philosophy. If anything, we have no leaders, and I get pissed off having to constantly explain this to the new guys. They come in and they're trying to explain to me what it is.
They're trying to tell you what it is. That was that young man we had on the other day. It was like, wow. Then he said I couldn't be a Mgtow.
Yeah, man, it's pretty crazy. I had someone telling me like, "Oh, you're misleading people." I don't like Conte, you're misleading people, and because he was on some alt right type of shit, and then I told him I don't even talk about race in my channel. I just do whatever. He's like, "Well, you should delete your channel. You're not a true Mgtow." I'm like, "Oh my god, here we go again."
Yeah, if you're not an alt-right, I had that told to me too. If I wasn't far Republican right, that I couldn't be a Mgtow. It was like that has nothing to do with Mgtow. No matter what, most of those guys are trad cucks, and they're equal hated to those far liberals, and
And
they
I
don't understand that. They think that because like there's this other group out there that they hate, that they must be right. It's like no, you're wrong too. And a matter of fact, they're the group that all the social norms that are wrong in the society are molded after. So they're more wrong. And they want to get back to that traditional 1950s where, they have a slave. It's like, no, nobody gets a slave.
That's why I laugh at both the right and the left, and I explained this to my nephew one time when he asked me. He's like, "What's the difference between the right and the left?" I was like, "Oh, they're both the same. It's just like the only thing they disagree on is how to properly make men slaves."
Properly make men slaves. Yeah. Yeah. If you think Joe Biden is any different than he's traditional conservative when it comes to marriage, when it comes to the things that matter in life. He's very traditional conservative. You just elected another traditional conservative.
Yep.
Trump was the same way. He was married and he was a traditional conservative. It's
And
like, what's the difference? There is no difference.
And they've been playing. Politicians have been playing this game for like half a freaking decade, and that's why I was laughing because this dude outright told them how he felt about them. These idiots were still like, well, yeah. And I made a joke about this in one of my videos. It got removed quick because I said, okay, everyone vote for me. You're not black.
Yeah, I don't know how half of these guys. One of the things that sort of everybody kind of realizes when you first come into Mgtow, you go listen to Barbarossa for a while.
Yeah.
And then but Barbarossa was dead set against traditional conservatism for a reason, because he's seen that as the enemy. That was the guys that if you want to change the laws, if you want to get a better understanding of gender dynamics, them guys are the worst. them guys are them guys are the ones that are holding up the broken social norms.
And they're a lot of the reason why we have these issues and that.
Right.
And I told one other guy, like, yeah, the left will give you long thought out speeches, and with the right, it's just like, come on, man.
Yeah, there's a reason. Feminism didn't create itself inside of a bubble. It was that the women were sick of being treated like slaves, and I would never treat a woman. I've never treated a woman like that. It was like my theory on that was always, I treat a person like I just met him on the street. I ask for nothing more than a person. That's the way you treat anybody in your life. Now, if you develop a system of trust with a person, it's more like a working relationship where, okay, we're now in business together. We have to trust. There's the business now too. The business gets 1/3.
Well, women got their freedom, and they wanted it so bad. I say give it to them. I mean,
we've extended that latitude to them to do a lot now, but you haven't told them that that's going to cost you in the form of responsibility and accountability. You could still have your slave. And now that's where the traditional conservative comes in, because he's saying, oh, come on, baby, I'll take care of you. All you got to do is give up a little of that. And that's all he has to bring. And like, no, you are not.
This is why I tell guys all the time, like, the funny part is I'll get blue pillars and all these dudes that'll attack me, and then they try to get me with this aha gotcha moment when I agree with them on one thing. I tell them, okay, like, because they'll come here and say, well, Black Wolf, I have a great relationship. My wife doesn't do that to me. And I finally tell them, okay, that's great. Are you happy? Yes. Okay. So why are you attacking me again?
Why are you around Mgtow? That's always bothered me. It's like the Joe buddies, the guys that were like on the fringe of Mgtow, just that very maybe-ish. They're kind of a half of 1% Mgtow, and they come around and they're always arguing with us. And it's like, if you're happy, why are you here? And I do. We threaten everything about their system and everything, and that's sad itself.
Because they call us all a bunch of pissed off dudes, and when I say, okay, cool, I agree. Why are you here again, sir, since you're so happy?
So happy. You should be out on a Friday night, just hitting up the Applebee's and eating breadsticks.
It's quite funny. I've told a few Mgtow my story of how I became Mgtow in the first place, and when I do, I'm going to be making a video about that soon, and hopefully they can stop freaking asking me, because everyone always wants this epic origin story. But what made me Mgtow wasn't a bad relationship. It was the fact that I reached a point where I did not want to have to mentally be, responsible for another human being in that way. Because when you take sick care of someone from start to finish, and you have to slowly watch a lot of shit transpire, some people can go, oh, that's beautiful, that's sweet. And then other people like me will go, yeah, I don't want to experience that shit again. I think I'm going to kind of.
No, it's everything about the humans, all the humans, they've never learned, and they weren't responsible. And that's when the government will say, well, you're still responsible. It's the pay-door father thing. It's a pay-door, and the original meaning of father is the responsible party. But no, I'm not the responsible party. I'm not responsible for anybody's happiness in this world. And me and Joey always say, I want the woman to do good. I want you to get out there and I want them to bust through the glass ceiling. I want them to get the great jobs, make a lot of money, but I also want them to take responsibility for their body. I don't make babies. It's impossible. It's like, and once men start understanding that, like that's not their responsibility. It's the women's responsibility to take care of their body, make sure they don't get pregnant if they want to go to work, do all those things. And if they want to have a child, they should have that planned out. And it doesn't include getting a slave.
And that's why I say, man, it used to make me mad because I used to be more conservative based. But as I get older, I used to hate feminism, but now I push any crazy thing they do because it's not going to hurt me. It might hurt some simps out there,
Yeah.
but it's not going to affect me one way or another. They want 64 genders or 122 unicorns, let them do it.
That's what I always say. Once you get to that real Mgtow stage, anything they do doesn't bother me. It's like, go for that, baby. Be that strong girl. I don't care. I mean, there's some absurdities, like Joey had up last week, like Queen Latifah beating up a 275-pound guy, karate chop judo stuff, and the strong girl. No, that's going to get them hurt if they try that.
Oh yeah.
That's dangerous for them, and someone should say that. And it's a more honest attitude. It's like I want you to be as strong as you can, but that monster over there, don't try to beat him up because he will hurt you. It's like, oh man, and that's. But I want the girls to do well, because I want men to be free. You know what free men do?
They do. We do a lot of things. Hell, we invent. We give back more to our society than sometimes anybody.
Yeah. Yeah. You got a bunch of free men out there, and things start moving better. The society, there's more taxes that could be. We could take care of the baby mamas better. We could take care of everything better. If the biggest job killer in America is?
What's that?
Divorce. Every time a guy with a company gets a divorce, that company gets split up and dissolved. And that happens millions of times a year. If this government ever did a study on it, and I give the guy I don't know if you remember the guy in California. He was the construction guy in California. He was like the Bartolos or something. He had all the construction jobs, and he had over 30,000 employees. And then there was a divorce, and the first thing that she started doing was cannibalizing the company.
Damn.
And it was like, do you realize? And I have the personal story of my friend. My friend had a corporation. He was just this regular guy, this little redheaded skinny guy. He was extreme talent at one thing. And he started this company. We didn't even know he had this company. And he had 400 workers. And his divorce came around. And you know what he did?
What did he do?
He said, all this runs on this. And he every day he'd walk in and he'd grab a bottle of whiskey and he'd go in his office and he'd lock the door. Guess what happened to that company?
Went under?
It went under, and it was a big thing in the city he was, because the city depended on that company. He says, if you're going to take this away from me, if he says, I'll just let it all dissolve. And he did, and that was 400 men's jobs. And I thought it was one of the worst, but I can understand his position. He says, all this is mine. I do this. I did it with this. I started it.
Man, it's sad when stuff like that happens. Man, I actually have a story about how I protected my land, because there's a cure-all to this, and I'm not recommending anybody do this, but I was able to protect myself numerous times when I was younger and dating, because there was a while back when I used to own about 70 acres of land, because every time a family member would pass, I would get it. They couldn't give it to other family members because they didn't appreciate it. So I ended up with chickens, and started a small business that I kind of had to take a break from, because I was the only employee. I was my boss, I had an employee, I was everything. So I couldn't do all that by myself. It was too much to manage because I was doing like 16 hours a day. So I took a break from that, and I'm gonna revisit it once I move. But yeah, I was with this chick, and all she works at a Denny's now because she wanted the Hollywood dream. She complained that I wasn't making enough money. She made a joke about stealing my land, and
Oh,
I honestly didn't say anything. I kept eating my cereal, put the
that
pistol
wasn't
on the
a joke.
table, went back to yeah. It wasn't even a joke. That was a crazy one. I knew she was trying to bullshit me, and or serious about it. And so I straight up told her. I didn't even have to tell her anything. I went right back to eating my cereal, and then she wakes up and I'm digging a hole, and then she's like, What's the hole for?" I was like, "Well, I've come to a decision that if I lose all of this, you're going in that hole. So might as well just go all the way. If I'm gonna get falsely accused, it's gonna be for some shit that I actually did. It's not gonna be
There was
for
an incident about 6 years ago where I had to initiate calling the police because there was a female that a family member brought around, and I just got the impression, okay, they're sizing this up for theirs, and I said, oh, they were going to do that, make a complaint, and then get me kicked out, and then this house would have been their house, and I was like, nope, that's not going to happen. I jumped the what do you call it? I jumped the
yeah.
snake, or I jumped the whatever.
Jump the gun or something.
I jumped the yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
but you got to be you got to be and that's
you
when
gotta
I realized that it wasn't just women that I was making mistakes dating and doing that and bringing women in my life, but like you said, you never know what your friend's girlfriend has in mind for you. You know, they're
true.
crafty. They're crafty and cunning.
That's
And
why I always tell men to keep a low profile. These life coaches and these dating coaches, they're the biggest idiots on the internet. They really are. They're the biggest idiots on the internet. It's not that hard. It's not that hard to get a woman into you. I mean, just have money.
yeah, yeah,
You know.
that she wants, and that's about our system too. Our system feeds on us. The whole system nowadays, from real estate, and I think that's one of the things we have to. I mean, taxes to real estate, it feeds on the mail, and it will take everything from you.
Well,
And
they're
it's
called the
what,
Leviathan.
yeah, it's what yeah, Humes is that Humes? Humes.
Yeah, I think that's his
And
name.
yeah, Leviathan. I've read that a few years ago. There's some arguments with it, and now you can see like Kant and Hume's, and comparatively to this society now, it's like, oh no, that doesn't work.
Yeah. I gotta admit, I like the dude's new channel because I was watching him, like years ago, and then he made his new content. He's hitting stronger than ever before. I gotta give him credit for that. He did a face reveal. He's hitting stronger than ever before, and so it's hell. I've known guys that have done that, and for me, I try to be humorous about it. Like it's messed up, but all of my jokes have like dark meanings behind
Yeah,
them, and that's what I do on my channel, man. It's hard sometimes. It's
yeah. I
these
just can't do that goofy YouTube personality that you see so often that's popular.
yeah, I was doing it years ago just for the fun of it. Now, like I'm slowly transitioning to just talking about things I want to talk about. I'll still use clips, but I try to be a little bit more professional about it now and throw a joke out there. Not as much anymore.
Yeah,
And it's
I love
so
sarcasm.
so I'm growing. I'm growing best I can. It's just the problem is I worry about getting more subscribers and everything. I'm thankful for every sub that I get, but I get scared of hitting that 1,000 mark because I still want to just be somewhat unknown because they're removing our freaking videos and they don't want us to talk, and it's understandable.
Mhm.
Society has an issue with Mgtow, and I used to not understand why, but now I know why. We're the anti, just for the sake of being anti. We're the anti everything. They can't put a pigeonhole on us, can't pin us down for really much of anything. We have no leaders. They don't like that we drop truth. So it's like in typical video game fashion. We're like that final boss nobody can find, or secret boss or something.
Yeah, well, we threaten their fantasy fiction world, and that's the biggest crime. It's like, you're going to threaten my happiness. They see their happiness in that fantasy fiction that they build, and I understand it. I understand it totally. I used to be there a long time ago. Wife, kids, the whole 9 yards, and I believed in that. I believed that that was going to make me happy in life, but no, people change, and things happen, and I learned from that. And
True. You know they need that to be true. That's what I discovered something about them, that they need that reality to be true, because as you were saying earlier, for some people they can't handle it and they really would commit suicide given the option.
right, it's easy that way. It's easy. It's the slave mentality, and they make each other slaves, and it's easier life. They don't have to do things on their own, and they don't have to be responsible. And it is that slave mentality. It's easier to be a slave in this society, and just and and there's the wealthy know that. I mean, I mean, I wish I could break through on that, but I never been able to do that in my life.
So it's like we need to carry around a giant microphone saying "pussy is a lie." Discover the truth.
That's going to cost you a lot more than you think. I mean, but you can't you can't explain to them why and everything, and it just whew, it just run off to Asia. The expats. Now we got inundated with the alt right. Then we got inundated with the expats, which the expats made it. They thought that going Galt was expatting.
Really?
Yeah, I think
Wow.
they draw some parallel to that. There's four sides. One side of the Mgtow sign is going Galt, and then there's the MRA, there's Mgtow, and then there's PUA. I mean, we're all a group under the sign, but they thought, I think they really attached that idea that going Galt was expatting. And then now they come around and they try to push that, like, if you're not an expat, you're not a Mgtow.
Wow.
Like, if you're not going to running off to some tropical paradise and looking for and I understand what they're saying. If you lived in America for 20 years and you have money, that goes a long way in some of these communities. But man, I don't know. I still like living in America just because. I mean, if I do want to go somewhere, I drive about 20 miles that way. I got every restaurant I can go see. If I drive in Cleveland, that's about 50 miles, 50, 60 miles. And I can do anything I want to do. And I like that. I mean, I'm not eating rice, soybeans, and rice,
Yeah, I mean, I want to move just for the just to change of pace, because I live near Clown World, man. I had enough of it. If I get another New York or another Cali bastard come near me, it's on. I just can't. I
Yes.
can't with them.
Yeah, I couldn't stay in Cleveland. It was just like, it got too hard. That town will eat you. It'll eat you up, and it'll eat your soul from the inside out. And so, a good driving distance away from a major town is a good thing. That's what I consider going Galt. I moved away from everything that was going to harm me.
Yeah, I mean that's why I want to move further in the mountains, or further the woods, or something. I mean, I got my parents and stuff to think about, because
Yeah,
they're old and whatnot. I don't mind taking care of them,
yeah.
but
Those chains are different for everybody. You're kind of bound to, like, society, and the chain
yeah.
of your going Galt is different for every guy. Mine's 50 miles away from any city, any major city. But I like to drive into those cities once in a while. I go gambling. You got the greatest restaurants, and
True.
I can't get Japanese barbecue or a Korean barbecue here.
I guess I guess the city's good for its modern convenience and everything. I like to, I used to like to go cosplay and I put on shows and stuff, and I was really big into performing. I might go back and visit that as like someday in a few years, but preferably on my own terms and decide my own pay and whatnot, because I treat it like I'm more of an ambivert than an introvert. I treat it like I can deal with it for a while, but I got to go and recharge my batteries, kind of thing.
Batteries.
That's that's how I am with it. And it's Omar. Yeah, that's how I was a MGTOW even in my blue pill days, and I didn't even freaking know it because every time women would say something to me that I didn't like, and I was eating, I'd start chewing slower and giving myself a little extra time to think about how I was going to respond to the stupidity.
Yeah, yeah, you got to slow down, think, plan your exit. I mean, these things get very complex once in a while. But your MGTOW philosophy will carry you through most events in life now. Just try to remember the MGTOW.
Oh, definitely, man. There may come a time. I'm not saying I'm gonna like leave or anything, but I told one of my friends like, what's the future for your town? I was like, well, if I ever one day ghost, I ghost. I mean, that's kind of the final level anyway. If
Yeah,
there was a level system, then hell, that's like the final level. What is it? 1, 2, 4? I don't remember all the weird levels and shit. But
yeah.
that's how I feel about it. If I get bopped and I ever make a new YouTube channel, I'll just be talking about nature, animals, and I'll low key throw some red pills in there every now and then.
Yeah, you could do that. That's fine. That's great. Actually, it's the way things are supposed to be. And just kind of a little dose of who you are and what you believe in. And we should all have the right. We should all in America have the right to talk about what we are, and that includes MGTOW because MGTOW is a gender group, and it's like this is the way we live our life. We're not hurting anybody. Oh, I know we're hurting the traditional the Dreadcucks idea of honor. I mean, we
Yeah.
upset their idea of honor because, well, I don't believe that no male should take care of a female.
But Trav, you're hurting the fifis of women.
Yeah, I'm not responsible for anybody's happiness. That's got to make them happy. Claire's not happy. Doesn't start throwing knives.
Yes, that's why I respect and like your content, man. You handle it a hell of a lot better than me. Whenever I get the hate, I have people saying like, "Oh, he just wants to oppress women." I just embrace the hate. Like I was,
Yeah, bring it on. Yeah, I've had so many people over the years come at me and just, I mean, even huge like YouTubers just come at me like for no reason at all. Like I hate that guy. It's like, so what? I mean, it's like I'm still here and I'm still MGTOW and that's it. That's all I'm preaching is the MGTOW way for the guys that need it. And
damn that Trav telling men to have some form of self-respect.
yes, respect. Yeah, don't be simping. What's that about? Oh man, they are ridiculous. They look so funny to me too. Do they look hilarious to you?
Oh, they look extremely funny to me, man. I take like the almost the there's a comic book called the Homelander. I take like
Yeah,
yeah, I take the stat stat approach to it, to where Homelander is a superhero. He flies into the guy's house and he threatens to kill the guy. The guy's completely human, has no powers, and that dude just mentally ripped him a new one, and then he gets pissed off and flies out because he was just so unfazed by it. And, and the thing that really pissed off the Homelander was he's like, I could destroy this human. He's like, yeah, and his dad told him, the reason I'm unfazed by this is because you're predictable. That's what
yeah,
he told the heroes. Like, you're predictable. I knew you'd do A, B, and C. And he even offered to just jump off the roof right then and there because he didn't want to listen to him.
yeah. Now is that the boys?
Yeah, the
Homelander.
boys.
They brought. I mean, Homelander is a disgusting. He's a simp. He drinks the breast milk from women, at his age. He needs breast
Mhm.
milk, and he's always simping, and his feelings get easily hurt.
Oh yeah. So you know what I'm talking about. Then the Homeland is a total ass.
Yeah, he's a total ass, and he's the tread cuck. He's always for America and for anybody. Back of his mind, he's always got some creepy little like that personality defect where where he's insecure, or and they just come out. It's creepy, but he's got superpowers.
Yeah, man. It's funny as hell. That's why I was happy it was a human that put him in his place. I mean, when Stan
Yeah,
put him in his place, he just outright told him
yeah.
any other creature.
He is sort of the reflection of Tradcon America, isn't he?
He really is. He
They're
got
the
all this.
dominant force. They're creepy. They're wrong. They got personality defects. Their whole psychology is wrong, but no one's like, we're too small of a group to actually fight them on it. And
Oh well, I know
we
a way to. I know how to
true.
beat the. I know a way to beat him actually. Like if I spent like a long, at least months thinking about this. We can't fight them because we're outnumbered. Not to mention most of us just don't have the energy to. If you want to stop the trad cucks, and to everyone listening to this, if you really want to stop them from doing what they're doing, every time you see some feminist or crazy like psycho liberal thing, just vote on it. Just keep like
Yeah,
nod and agree with it because they
yeah.
hate that shit, and it's super hilarious how mad they get because I'm not worried about the left ever taking over. Their ideas are crazy anyway, but I
No,
know that it pisses off the right.
no. And all they, like I say, all most feminists and women want is not to be, to have to be fat and pregnant in the kitchen, be someone's slave and sexual servant at night. Uh, that's what we really need to say to them. Like, you don't get a sexual servant at night, and treat if you're in a relationship, that's fine, but treat her like you met her on the street today, and don't ask her to do anything that you wouldn't ask a person that walked by.
That's
Or,
that's how it should be, man. These
that's how it should be. Everybody should treat everybody with that, I call it laundromat respect. You come into the laundromat, you respect everybody like you respect this person you don't know in a laundromat.
that's that's the way you gotta treat it, man. Like I understand if people want to have that like track cook life. The thing that upsets me about it is they don't understand that that's their choice. They try to make their choice everybody's choice, and
Everybody's choice, right?
that's why a lot of people fight them. If
Yeah,
people
that's
wouldn't
what.
even fight these people if they didn't proudly make declarations every 8 seconds.
And it is the man up stuff after that, and they want everybody. It's like it's everybody has to be. If you fail at that, you become the slave in society. And it's like, because you failed at that, because you failed at that our scheme never worked. And it's like, no, that's so wrong. It's just so wrong. I mean, I know a lot of people say I'm very liberal on that. I'm very Mgtow is so freaking progressive. It's almost like we can out progressives.
Yeah, that's true.
You want to talk progressive? I got some progressive ideas. Let's get rid of. I got some real progressive ideas that are 100% correct and straight too. We get rid of those divorce courts. We get rid of those marriage. We get Uncle Sam out of our bedrooms. Get rid of those things. Digitalize health and human services because they're useless. Lay all those people off. You can go to your library, type in what you're making. If you're not making enough, the system takes care of you. I mean, that would cut our
Yes,
taxes by 2/3.
it really would, man. That's why things
But they
will.
protect that system. They got a system. That's the Christian system of traditional conservative that they built in this country, and that's the horror that we see going on now. They will protect that system. They believe it's in group loyalty, or you're a traitor, or you're dishonorable, and they'll put you in jail. And that's what they're saying. If you don't believe in working the rest of your life, giving half your money to a woman after she decides to leave you and take your kids away from you, And if you don't have the honor enough to believe in their system and become a slave, they're going to put you in jail. That's horrible.
Yeah, I
Because
mean,
now you're not part of their in group, that loyalty. Uh, I wish a couple of them would take a sociology class and philosophy classes, because they would soon realize how horrible that is and how wrong they are.
well, like I said last stream, man, knowledge without understanding is pointless. These people fail to realize that their entire life is the equivalent of an ant in an ant colony, a single
Yeah,
ant in a freaking ant colony. And I don't know if you ever watched that movie called Ants with a Z. It's a It's this funny movie about this ant that he's a really smart ant and he wants to leave the ant colony. And every time an ant is born, they go worker ant, soldier ant,
yeah,
and he goes to see a therapist inside the ant colony. And he
yeah.
tells him, sometimes as a worker ant, I just feel insignificant. And the ant responds, well, you've made an amazing breakthrough, Z. I have? Yeah, you are insignificant.
Yeah, you got no autonomy in this world. Yeah, that's the bee count, the bee movie. I love that movie too, because the bee is like, wait, something's wrong here. You didn't want to be the worker bee. My Joey knows my. I hear these guys running around. It's like our jobs, and you know what? You want to be 20% working class? You want to be that 30% that works for a living? It's like that's what you're saying. You
Man,
want to be a slave.
exactly.
I
You know
hear.
what's really funny about like these kind of guys? I've known dudes. Like I'd actually rather talk to the damn purple pillars before I talk to the track cut blue pillars because
Oh God,
some
yeah.
some of the purple pillars I've met, I had a subscriber dude. He agreed with everything that I was saying. We were saying, despite the fact that he's still gonna like he's in a happy relationship, whatever.
Yeah, they
He
know we're
believed it,
right.
and they
They,
knew it. And
yeah,
I asked him, me and him got to talking, and I said, so why do you do it? I was like, I said, I'm curious, why do you do it? And he told me,
gee,
well, I haven't been fucked over yet. I don't think I'll get fucked over, but at least I'll have the information to arm myself, or at the very least know what I'm getting into. And I left that conversation that I had with him, being mildly surprised that he told me, yeah, like you said, it's like a landmine, but I'd rather see the landmine than to not
yeah.
see it at all.
Now I know
So,
the landmine's there. Yeah, if I would have known Mgtow before, I would have moved all my money. I would have shut down certain things. I would have made a lot different decisions than I did, and probably would have been really good, well off right now. But I didn't see it coming. That's the thing. If we get to the purple pillars of the guys, hey, if this is going to happen, you got to spot it coming, and then you got to be, and because the women are going to go to a lawyer first, and you got to be aware of what's coming. Move your wealth. Don't try to buy her back, because that's the first thing most men do is try to buy her back. It's like, oh, I'll give you this, I'll give you that, just come back, and they're simping, and it's like, no, they'll take everything and more.
yep.
Uh, yeah, it's a pretty good thing. Mgtow goes. I see a lot of the married guys. They know how the way it is, and a lot of them don't know the way it is. But it's that other group, the tread cucks, that really bother me, because those guys are shit. Man, they're like wrecking balls in a china shop. This is, I
Yeah,
mean,
they really are, man. And what makes me mad is if I'm not fighting trad cucks, I'm always fighting PUAs, and it's just that they're too stupid to realize that what they're doing is misleading. You got guys
right.
saying, "Oh, American women are bad. Let's go to Latin America. Let's go to Latin countries. Let's go to Asian countries." And then they get mad at me when I tell them, "You don't think men are also having problems in them countries too?"
Yeah, yeah. It's not just even in their answer, they're kind of telling on themselves. You're looking for an answer. Find a better answer. And I'd rather live in America and find a better answer than run. You know?
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, you got to be a part of it. If you're not a part of the cure here in Mgtow, then you're a part of the problem.
Yep, I
And
agree.
these guys running, they're a part of the problem. They're giving men bad advice. Now, we're going to give men simple advice. If you want to have kids, you can do surrogacy. If you want to have kids, you can find a lesbian that wants to do that. If she don't want you around, you don't want to be around. It's a good relationship. You know, 10 minutes and it's through. and, there's a lot of ways to navigate through this thing. 200 miles in a fake ID is what I say. There's other ways to navigate this thing where you can be happy and not put yourself at risk. You can be creative too. Don't listen to me. What's your life? How you want to live your life? What kind of autonomy you want? Consider all those things in. But we can give them a direction. I can direct men. It's like, here's the right way. That's why I put that sign up. Every one of that's the way.
Yeah, I mean, people don't want to accept the fact that that time is fucking gone, man. They want to live in this la la land about how shit is, and so what can you do?
Yeah, I was just hoping that someday. I thought that I would see before I died that there would be some kind of gender dynamics apocalypse where it's going to people are going to be forced to look at it and come up with a better plan. But that doesn't look like it's happening because people ignore it. People, it's that if we ignore it, it'll go away. It doesn't go away. It's just when you ignore a problem, it just grows, and then it's working its way more into our government, and it's just becoming a bigger problem. I think in certain ways it's getting a little better. And Mgtow has a big part of that. MRA takes credit for something they didn't do. You know that.
Yeah, I freaking feel sorry for them, man. Like MRA is a trip. I mean, they couldn't even keep their own shit afloat. Now they want to take credit for this. Moment
Yeah.
they let that chick Karen Strawn, all these women in, they were doomed from the get go.
They were doomed, and that's what we realized back in 2000, 2004 that these MRAs, they've been doing this for like 30 years and they've gotten nowhere. But it's that tread cookie attitude of theirs. They think they're going to bring back something that's never going to happen again, and they're always trying to negotiate with the girl. It's like, no, we don't negotiate with that. It's like, and then they brought in the MRA, they brought the girls in, and then they did exactly what we said they were going to do. And then Paul Elam writes a book and says he's the Mgtow guru. It's like, I mean, is that narcissism? And that POA stuff that they invented Mgtow? No, they didn't. I know exactly who invented Mgtow. It was Paco, and Paco had the first Mgtow group. It was that sign right there. It was the first Mgtow group. I'm old enough to know and been around at that time. As that the P-Ways weren't around. There was still Neil Strauss in it.
Hell, I mean, I had a dude tell me pimps came up with the word simp.
No, that was what's his name? The young black guy. What's his name?
Was it Tupac or something?
He come out and he was like, it caught on right after he said it in his video, and he said simping ain't easy. And he called them simps. It's like, these guys are simps, and it caught on after that. I can't remember the guy's name. I can look it up one of these days, and I remember exactly when it caught on. And then the young Hispanic guys, they came up with the word baby mamas. So, it's like,
Bad language is a funny thing.
yeah, I mean, we didn't even have that. We had to sit down. I remember sitting down with a lot of the guys, and there was very few Mgtows back in 2000 to 2004, and coming up with the words gynocentric and gynocentrism and hypergamy. We there was no word to explain these things. And it was, it was like, man, but it was more. It was when all four sides came together, kind of resembling the sign. You know, it was like Going Galt came around at that time, and then it just kind of grew from there, kind of naturally. Mgtow did.
Yeah.
There's no leaders, and we realized that it's about intellectualism. It's about thinking through these things, and about having a philosophy that works based on philosophies before us, modernism. And we used to talk about that stuff a lot, but I know more. It's smashing hose. I mean, I don't know how many of those podcasts I hear every week. It's like where the guys get together and all of a sudden they're talking about smashing hose. Then I got the Mgtow sign, and it's like, what are you guys talking about? Don't you guys realize that's where babies come from? No, like immature little kids.
This is why, I mean, I had to stop going to one guy's fucking channel. I remember, like, I was about to hop on the stream like the other day. There's this Alex Nathaniel life coach channel, and dude's not a bad guy. He's an okay guy, but man, that whole channel was nothing but just simping for Latin women, simping
Yeah.
for Latin women, simping for black women, and it's just I don't think like maybe he means well, but I don't think he realizes that him and his friends are simping during a fucking pandemic. I mean, there's no joke that I can make for that. There's no even joke that I can even think of to greatly describe how stupid that is. Simping in a pandemic.
Sitting at home, sitting in a pandemic. Yeah, they're trying to figure out how to get her a coronavirus test before they can go out with her.
You know, that was actually mentioned in that stream too. I don't know who said it, but someone saying, "Yeah, man, it sucks. You know, you should have made sure she didn't have corona before you were dating her. You know, and all this other shit." I'm listening to this, and it's a damn good thing I didn't get on that stream because I was thinking, hey, is that what it's come down to? I mean, I'm just waiting for to see a new porn category. Oh no, baby, cough on me. No, let me cough on you. Corona porn.
Yeah. Oh man, last year was the whole summer was just so. It was kind of beautiful for me. It was like I get on my e-bike and head off to the woods and the parks, the woods, and do my thing. And there was not a lot of people, and everybody stayed away from me. And it was just, wow, this is nice. Oh man, this spring's gonna be terrible. Everybody's gonna be getting out. This mating season's coming up. The pent up simps have been pent up long enough, and mating season's coming up. There's gonna be an upflow in teen pregnancy and female pregnancy, like a 12% upflow. Yeah, the divorce courts are the child services. They'll love that. That's how they make their money.
Oh yeah, that's a big freaking money. But if someone wants to make a lot of money, just become a freaking divorce lawyer at this point.
Yeah, that's where the money is.
Yeah.
Joey, Rick says you're not talking enough. You're probably cooking something. Oh man, it was cold this morning. I took a ride to the store on my bike, and I was like expecting warmer weather. I had to go get some chicken. I was making some chicken. What's that? We wrapped the chicken up in the cheese in the middle and the ham. I can't remember what you call that.
The grill wrap or something. Grill wrap.
Wrap, and you just pound the chicken out and wrap the stuff up in there. And man, it was freezing this morning. I was like, oh man, just yesterday, the day before, it was like 55 or something. Like, Well, it's come right around the corner. Spring's right around the corner.
That's true.
Most people, you don't have to worry about that. It's already there, huh?
Yeah, it's freaking getting hotter. More and more as time goes on, it's getting pretty hot.
Oh man, I just can't wait for the first day where the pressure is not. It's like normal. It's like pedaling pedaling in the cold. It takes 3 times as much energy. And some days I get back and I'm like, that cold air is. I'm sucking that cold air in. I hit the warm air in the house and I'm like, it's like, man, that's rough. I start gagging. Where is Angela? Oh, man. Joey's not in. He probably ran to the store or something. He went out to the store to see SFM. SFM was great for that. I'll be right back. I'm running to the store.
Man, I miss SFM. I mean, I wish me and him had got a chance to talk more because I came around when he left. I was just kind of coming in, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll be back someday, I think.
Well, I'm happy for him. He's getting his life and shit together. I can't hate that,
No, you gotta respect it when the young guy gets it and then sees the Mgtow way and just starts doing. I wish I can get every kid to do that. Like, kind of consider himself first, and then go do it the right way. And even, I'll say all the time, I did it perfect in life, and it didn't work out for me. But the Mgtow way, the only thing that got me was the simping and the trying to keep a woman around. Like, without that, man, I was well on my way to being very well off.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks how stuff pans out like that.
Yeah. I wonder what Joey's doing.
Yeah, because he's been gone for a hot minute.
Yeah. He'll be back. Yeah, so it is our own fault. We have to. How do we go about changing society, teaching the kids? It's not even teaching the kids anymore. I think if you spend any time on the internet, you're going to see uh, like about changing the culture to into a better culture.
Yeah, man, it's all we can do at this point is just try to make life better.
Yeah. I mean, there's going to be that little moment where the government's going to wake up. And, we can't enforce slavery no more. I'm hoping you know, that's what our Health and Human Service Department is supposed to be doing. They've got the modern day slavery and trafficking and that stuff, and they don't see how they're the very people that are trafficking male slavery. I mean, the dielectric on that is just going to come back and it's going to flow back and forth, and eventually the men are just going to pop.
Dang. Yeah, that's true. That's actually pretty funny. I mean, the government's gonna have to come up with a new way to balance things out because I keep telling people
Yeah,
they think that by hurting men collectively, that or at least a lot of women think that if they hurt men collectively, it's gonna like somehow change anything. I told one woman, go ahead and do it because the moment we as men become 10% of the population or 15% of the population, you might as well just call us gods at that point. Every man
right.
will get their dream.
Yeah,
And that, because I know the one thing women hate doing, lesbians included, because their domestic violence rate is higher than that of any
yeah,
other relationship. Period. Like women hate living around other women. I've seen it, man. Like
Oh, yeah.
people call us misogynistic. You know, the most misogynistic thing I've ever heard come out of a human being's mouth came out of a woman's mouth. Not a dude's. It
Yeah.
wasn't dudes saying it was women saying a lot of that stuff
Each other, yeah.
growing up. So they had like a lot of that venom. So I can't imagine some kind of female Wonder Woman Paradise Island utopia that they keep trying to go on about it. It'll never happen. They can
No,
dream, but it'll
and,
never happen.
they can't commune by themselves. I've seen two incidents of that where there was two houses that were the rental houses where there was like 3 or 4 or 5 lesbians living together, and the police were always at both of those houses. It was like there was always some violence, there was always some drama, and I mean, if they don't get that drama from a dude, they get that drama from a woman, and then they start doing that interaction drama together until it explodes.
Yeah, that beat down role play or whatever whatever the hell they call it. Throw downstairs, beat down role play. 'Cause I knew two chicks that were like that, man. It was sad. I saw a chick go from lesbian to straight, and that was only because the chick she was with, she was the more feminine one. She was getting beat down by the masculine one, and it didn't end until the boy that she rejected beat up the butch lesbo chick, and then they ended up together. She decided she was straight, and then in there it was super funny.
And, yeah, she's seen how it works. Yeah, I see a lot of that. We had a large community around on the other side of town where there was the rainbow community and everything, and you can't help but to watch and see. Well, now you guys got to deal with everything in your community, and you thought it was different. Humans are humans. I mean, it just ain't them bad guys.
And bro, I was laughing hard as shit, when that whole, like gays want to get married too. I was like, okay, and I wasn't even against it. I was like, okay, let them get married. Why? So they can go through the same shit that everyone else is going through.
Yeah, no, it's yeah, they'll become the divorced ones, though, and then they'll realize that you're gonna have a one that files, one that gets the divorce, and one that becomes the slave. It's like
Yeah.
that'll be an awakening.
You know how I know we're gonna achieve fairness one day in the courtroom is because someday a judge is gonna have to figure out when one lesbo divorced another lesbo. How do we've never seen this before. How do we?
Yeah, how do we tell another person that they got to take and give money to this person, or it's like, and it'll become clear to them that shouldn't happen. Each person should be responsible for their own selves.
Yeah, I mean,
Now we
they're
can do
not.
some research on that and see how this is. I mean, we can look and see what kind of decisions are being made in those situations now, and whether one person is being enslaved to the other, and how the rulings, or if the rulings are generally like you two just split up and then you go your own ways, and then that would be like that would prove the gender bias in that too, wouldn't it? Well, what's the difference between them and two a regular couple? You just tell them to go their own ways, and the person that had the babies is responsible for the babies. I mean, that's the way it should be. I mean,
I agree.
it could. Yeah, you're right. If they do have to make that decision, it would kind of bring a light to it. Like, okay, yeah, we can't. I don't even want to think about two dudes getting a divorce.
That's gonna be a odd moment in history.
Yeah, I was like watching TV the other day, and a dude kissed the other dude, and I was like, "Oh, button." Oh, that was hard to take. At my age, I was like, my heart, stop it.
And the times we live in, it's I never thought, I'd be around to see this type of, stuff, crazy stuff going on. But it's a trip.
It's a
I,
trip, isn't it? It's like, and they have the right to do what they do, and I'm not getting in anybody's bedroom. That I don't want to do that, but I want them to stay out of mine too.
oh yeah, I agree. I told one of my friends, like, if things ever get bad and the Rainbow Coalition takes over, that's cool. I'm just gonna get a tattoo over my butt that says "Exit No Enter."
Yeah, exit no enter. I got to get one of those. What do they call those tattoos on the back end?
Tramp
Tramp
stamps or
stamp.
something.
Yeah, I got to get a tramp stamp.
That was the one thing I had fun with. I had, like, sometimes my haters, when I go into the streams, they'll invite women and they'll go, "Oh, he's son this, he's probably gay," and they get mad at me. I had one woman like outright blocked me because I said, "Okay, let's test that theory. Bend over." I kept telling her to bend over. She got mad. Blocked me on live here.
Yeah,
So
they don't see that as sexual harassment either. I was like, it just goes right over their head that if we're Group X and we're not doing those things to tell us that we have to talk about them and do those things is sexually harassing us.
yeah, that's the funny part. I mean, they're shaming someone, and it's hilarious to me because I had to kind of, like, I called one chick a homophobe and she got all mad at me. I threw their own terminology at them
Yeah,
because
but they
they, they,
violate their
they
own
need,
rules.
yeah, they say first she's like, oh, she loves the gays or whatever, and then she's calling another. I said, okay, but you're calling another person gay though as an insult. And
Right.
she said, well, that's because the way what you're saying towards women. I said, so okay, so gays should be attacking women then, because I said last I checked, and a lot of people don't believe me when I say this. They cape for women just as hard as the simps do. I've seen that quite a bit. Lesbians and gays, they cape for women quite hard. So I don't know why they're calling us gay and saying we hate women when most gays don't even hate women. Quite the opposite.
Right. It's a personal attack. It's just they know that would bother. They think that bothers you. If you have the traditional masculinity, that would bother you. And it's like, I'm part of Group X. I don't do those things, and you don't understand that. And they don't understand it. It's like I got to repost that article on Group X so people understand it. We're the most. We in Mgtow are the most sexually discriminated group in the world. We get sexually abused. We get sexually harassed most out of any other group. I mean, the way they act. I was in a store and there was a young couple in there, and this is how I describe it. Tell the story. I was trying to pick out a new toothbrush. I didn't know if I could buy the Oral B electric one or the one with the water flow and everything. And I'm going over this, and this young couple walks up and he grabs a toothbrush. He turned it on, and they had the little string on it, so you couldn't steal it. And he starts rubbing it on her. And then they thought that was cute. And I was like, I kind of went off on him. I was like, you don't act like that around me. And he's like, I was supposed to enjoy that, or somehow I was supposed to tolerate that behavior. And it's like, man, now you got to clean that fucking thing. It's like, what are you doing? And it was trying to be cute in a overly sexually overt way. And I was like, no, not around me. I was insulted.
Yeah, people have no standards anymore. I mean, and I do agree with you. As Mgtow, we get sexually harassed more than anyone. I mean, we
Yeah,
either get
I mean, at
involved.
work and everything, and it's like you go to work and they're talking about it. It's like, no, I don't talk about those things. It's not something. I work. I come here to get a paycheck and work.
Yeah.
And they don't understand. I'm supposed to be there in their group. And I says, I'm not in that group. I'm group X.
They can dish it out, but they can't take it. So that's why I started when I it used to piss me off years ago having that little gay crap getting thrown at me. I mean, because no cut on them. I'm just not I'm not into it. But like I've reached a point to where if they want to play that game, I'll play it right back at them.
Yeah, you know how stupid that is too. That gay thing is just sexual choice. It's like I told you I don't do those things. Why would I? I mean, that's ridiculous.
So it's supposed to be a blow. It's supposed to be a blow to your masculinity, and that's really what they're aiming after.
That's what they're aiming at, and it's like
women
while sexually harassing you.
Yeah, and it's really sad too. It's like some type of weird, it's like an abuser trying to justify their abuse while they're abusing you, and
while they're abusing you.
And it disgusts me when I meet women who do stuff like that, because I told one woman on live air, she tried to extort money from me on Nate's channel, and I don't know whether he checked the bitch for this, because she said, be a man, put your money where your mouth is, you got us demonetized with all your cussing, you're probably gay. And I finally told her, well, I don't do those things, but if I was, I'd be secure enough to just fucking come on, admit it, unlike your down low lesbo ass. Like, me and her were just going at it because she just kept saying the same insults over and over and over, calling me
same shaming tactics. We get used to them. It's like, I'm going to sit down one day and kind of draw up a better analogy to that, a philosophical analogy to what they're doing. And
that's why I hate the term toxic masculinity. I get so sick of people calling us toxic and homophobic or whatever. Next homo that gets mad at me, or any that happens to come across this scene and say back welfare is a freaking homophobic, take it up with women. Take it up with women.
It's toxic normophobic. They're toxic normophobic.
Yeah. Ain't that the truth, man? And every time I meet these like gays that get mad at me, I'm gonna tell them from now on, every gay dude or woman that's pissed off at me about the jokes I make, take it up with women. Don't take it up with me, because they talk more shit about you than any man I've ever met. They use you as a diss while at the same time holding you on a pedestal. That to me is that it's narcissistic. And it's so abusive to the point where I'm surprised no one calls women out for this, because if we as men were doing this to women, oh man,
that would be they would call it misogyny. They would call it Now the default position of every single male should be asexuality, and I say when you're working on a car, you're not thinking about those things. That's the default position in you. When I'm welding a strut or welding something on a bridge, I'm not thinking about those things. Those things can get me killed. That's the default position of every man. That's group X. Your default position is not thinking about that stuff. If people bring that stuff around in situations where you're not supposed, that's abnormal behavior. The norm, the default position is not thinking about it. And that should be 99% of your life. You're not thinking about that.
I completely agree. I mean, that's why I say we as Mgtow, we learned how to think with our brains and instead of our dicks and everything. And some people can't do that. And
no, it's everything. Even in these things, in these Mgtow chats that we have, they come around and the first thing they're doing is trying to push that on us. It's like toxic toxic. How did I put that? Toxic normophobia.
That definitely needs to freaking be in the list, man, because it's pretty crazy. And RP, you're right. I mean, I may make a joke video doing that someday. Every woman that isn't interested in me is obviously a lesbian, and I might even just start walking up to women and go, "Do you even les, bro? Do you les?" I mean, because this is the kind of weird stuff that they do to us. I mean,
that would be like us walking up to them and saying, "Do you do that?" Like, no, we don't do that. It's like, and then they come in our group. It's entryism, and we have to think their way. It's the alt-righters want us to think their way. Like, just go back to the. I'm not allowed to say plantation anymore. That's go back to the. We got to come up with a different word for that now, because
We
That's
can we can we can call it the what do they call in the Star Wars, the Dagobah system?
the Dagobah system. Yeah, they want to go back to the outer ring where the workers live and
Yeah.
the expanse. What do they call it? Yeah, you can go to the outer rim. Oh, see, they want to take away our vocabulary too. It's like a slow moving process where if they take away and they make every word that we use, and we don't use it in that sense where it's we're talking about almond, we're talking about having the work for someone else,
Yeah,
and
that's
that's a valid argument.
I I love it when they attack our words because some can get you saying the word sim can actually get you banned on Twitter and a bunch of places. I
Yeah,
didn't know that until someone told me. So they can keep attacking our words. We'll just come up with new ones like Alpha Chad and then Chad Cuck Senior.
yeah, senior trad cooks. I use trad cook a lot now. Uh, But yeah, they're going to try to attack our vocabulary, and that's incommensurability. They use the incommensurability problem where our vocabulary is not valid to them anymore, and they'll change the vocabulary. We see that in science, and it's a it's the philosophy of science. That's one of the biggest problems is incommensurability. Uh, but we see them trying to do that to us. So the biggest argument is two people arguing about the same thing that use two different words for it.
True. I actually kind of wish Mgtow had fought harder for that word, like the word simp. Just treat it
Yeah,
like, hey, lady, you can't say the S word. That's our word. You can only say simpa.
yeah, simple.
We need to
We got to
fight for
get rid of
that.
Webster's dictionary. That's what we got to do.
I did offer an alternative that I had a few people I knew doing this. So whenever I need to get a code, say something in covert and like a text message to my friend, I'll actually type it in Albed. And Albed it's a fictional language that I don't think can actually be spoken. It's just typed. It's just
Okay.
it's from a game called Final Fantasy X.
Yeah.
And these Albed, you have to go around collecting these books because their alphabet is just rearrange the letters, and that's all it is. Just a simple rearranging of the letters, like A is S and stuff like that. And you can come up with your own little code words. Me and a friend of mine used to do that in high school. We'd have like like words that we would send that would make no sense to anyone. But if you had like the alphabet dictionary and you actually rewrote the words, you would know what the person was saying just by deciphering them.
Yeah. Now that's the whole idea that the first Mgtow group was Paco's Mgtow group. The idea of that is we were so sick of arguing with the MRAs that we just wanted a place where we can talk and use our language, and our language has meanings behind it, and talk within the group and understand what we were saying to each other, and there was a whole new language, the Mgtow language, developing at that time, and it's like, no, we know these words have meaning, and they have scientific truths behind them. And it's like, when we say them, we don't say them offhandedly. But I guess we're back to square one again. I mean, over this last year or 2 years, I've just watched the popularity of Mgtow go down again. It's like people are afraid to, men are like that. They're afraid to talk now again.
I mean, that's the whole part of the plan. They don't want us talking, because when we get to talking, we get to thinking, and they really don't want that. So that they're going to do anything to try to tear that apart. That's why it's good that we make our content. To me, I make my content to let people know, don't be afraid to have a fucking opinion. I'm willing to take the hit for everybody. Like, I know that there may come a time where, I get doxxed or whatever. That's why I've made the necessary precautions that have like very few people even know my background, man. Like I've made like very few precautions to prevent any type of like crazy damage that comes my way. And at the same time, I tell guys, every man that's listening, you don't have to make Mgtow content. Hell, you don't even have to wear the label. Just understand the message and apply it in your life, you could be real covert with it. Treat it like you're Agent 47 from the video game, like
Yeah.
barcode and everything. You live amongst the idiots, but you're not one of them.
What's the? I always with them doing that, with them censoring us and stuff like that. What's more un-American than censorship of speech? It's like, and we're not hurting anybody. I would dare anybody from the government or anybody from the police or anybody from the FBI to show me how we're hurting somebody.
And like I said, we're hurting the fifis and women. I mean, once that become a
No,
law,
because I don't want to get trapped, because I don't want to have half my stuff taken, because I don't want to end up a slave.
yeah,
It's not valid for them to say that I have to be that way.
I mean, I completely agree. I mean, to quote something my old boss told me a long time ago, because when I had this crazy need when I was a blue pillar to drop a red pill truth, and I didn't even know I was doing it. My boss calls me in because I was, helping people out. It was weird, man. It was like I was the therapist of the fucking company or some shit. And so he comes over and he gives me this whole speech about how a company is like a centipede, and we can't have a busted leg. I'm like, oh my god, one of these damn speeches. One of them. He was one of those guys. He would give these really patronizing speeches, and sometimes I would just look out the window. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, just calculating how high up I need to be to make sure the drop kills me.
Yeah, I'm just gonna jump. Yeah, God, I hate bosses that use those. What do you call them? Idioms and analogies that are simple analogies. Like,
I call them Garfield memes. I hate Mondays type of terminology they try to like use with you to mind fuck you and everything.
yeah, if you hang around at the barber shop, you'll eventually get a haircut. It's like, come on. It's like, hey, them are like traditional people do that a lot. They use these analogies. They catch hold of an analogy, and they have for every situation, they have one of those analogies. It's like, those, and they're really cliche. It's like Mr. Brady used to say them all the time. It's like these people are Mr. Brady. It's like, don't say it. Don't say it. It's gonna some cliche analogy on something. Yeah. I can't remember the one I used to use. The Mr. Brady.
Hey, you know what?
Tattletales. Remember the Mr. Brady? If you become a tattletale, you're falling on yourself.
Yeah, I remember that. And in the comment section, Jigsaw RP, it's gonna happen. You're gonna see me get that Agent 47 look. I'm gonna be walking like, "Are you Black Wolf?" No, my name is Wolf Black. Completely different guy.
Completely different. Oh man, I hate the world.
Me too, man. The world is.
Hey Hank the man, how you doing?
Hey Hank the man. The world's going to shit in the freaking handbasket. My whole thing is, I'm just trying to enjoy the show. Maybe light some marshmallows. Maybe make some s'mores off of the embers of what was once left of society. And as the old saying goes, sometimes you have to destroy in order to rebuild. Something new probably will be built, but I won't be building it.
Yeah, I was hoping that people would just kind of wake up one day and go, hey, wait, this is wrong what we're doing, but they're not going to. That hope that they're going to wake up and say that you can't make a man your slave, and you can't. Women are responsible for their bodies, and that's not going to happen. I just don't understand it, because I don't understand why they resist it so much. But like I said, my analogy always was, I'm sitting on a Mgtow bench and I'm just pointing and laughing. I'm just like that old guy, just sitting on a bench. Just look at those simps. Look at those fighting over there. During the day I go out, or if I go get a burger, or if I want a scotch or something, it's just where I don't have to put up with that. Like, look at those
That's
fools.
that's why I just say enjoy it, man. If you want to like have added effect, just play that song "Sitting on the Top of the Bed," sitting on the top of the bed, watching life just passing. It's just funny with them because man, they do all of these things and then they believe that they're winning. And it's just what are you winning? I keep asking these guys, what the hell are you winning? Oh, she chose me. She chose me. And I was like, no, it's just your turn, bro. Calm down.
Yeah.
That's all.
I was doing that
It's-
the other day. Me and a buddy went for some wings, and it was just the bar was only open like 10 o'clock, so we showed up there at like 8 o'clock. We got some wings. And we were sitting there, and all of a sudden there was a fight, and it was like he pulled one guy off, which was his friend he knew, and it's like, why he's fighting over a woman, and it's like, oh man. I tried to talk to him, but the end of the conversation is, man, I like the drama. It's like,
and I think some people live off the shit, man. Like just it's like watching things are so bad that it's to the point where you don't even have to watch TV anymore. Just watch them.
just people watch. Yeah, it's just like, wow, wow, they're so weird. Yeah. Oh, Joey, Angela, you in?
That
Hey, have you got what do you lose connection or something?
yeah, I just lost connection. I don't know. It's all over the place. Yeah, I was cooking. How'd you guys know I was cooking?
I thought you were cooking. It's like this sometimes when I'm cooking something, it's like I can't do this while I'm cooking because I'm going to burn it. And I did burn. I burned some beans one day. I was like trying to cook. I was just sitting there yakking, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you make?
I just had some steak.
Steak. Oh, cool. Friday night steak.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, definitely.
that's masculine.
On the rear side. Yeah, always on the rear side.
Yeah. How many times
Yeah.
you eat liver this week?
I had one piece of raw liver actually. Yeah, it's hard to take down, but
Yeah.
got a lot of nutrients in it. So I'm gonna try making that a habit at least once a week. Eat one piece of raw liver
See,
a
bro.
week.
You see, bro, that's you gotta eat it outside. That way, when I do these simp tours and try to like correct these simps, I'm like, hey, be like that guy, man up and eat that damn steak.
Man up and eat
Yeah,
that liver.
yeah. That's what I'm learning is that the raw foods are, the raw meats, especially in the raw fish. That's where you get your nutrients. It's not from fruits and vegetables that get eventually.
Yeah.
Right.
I gotta do a liver purge soon. That's gonna be a day in hell. uh,
And I
I
know.
gotta. I was doing the zinc for 1 month, and then after the zinc, I gotta flush everything out with that the zinc attaches to.
I know that feeling, man. Like the older you get, the harder it is to lose weight. I gotta lose at least 20 freaking pounds. I mean, I wear it well because I'm a tall dude, but man, weighing 220, I gotta freaking drop down a little bit.
That's my problem with it. And I've been dieting this whole month, and I started working out and riding the bike more. You know what happened?
What happened?
I gained 20 pounds muscle. It's like, how the fuck did that happen? I was like, man,
Damn,
it's like that's always been my problem. Every time I do start doing really healthy stuff, I actually gain weight.
damn. I guess it's I do have I guess a remedy for that. Me, I stopped lifting weights as much. I think I'm gonna stop for maybe a month or two and just do pure cardio. I
Yeah, that's
gotta.
what I'm gonna do. Is just maybe just I know it's gonna be really unhealthy, but I'm gonna have to purge and then not eat, and then just go on like the water diet or something for a month.
Yeah, you can do mostly liquids, man. I mean, if you absolutely want to, one of the things I used to do a few years back whenever I had like a show to do or something, I got this blender. A friend of mine bought me a blender for my birthday many years ago. And dude, I was blending everything I could, oranges, mangoes. A lot of my foods were just in liquids. And what was funny about this is the chick that I was dating, I briefly dated this Carney chick, and she got mad at me because my mentor at the time, she's like, I bought you, like I bought you that jewelry or whatever. She would buy me things I didn't want, and that pissed me off. And so my friend, he bought me this blender. She's like, you seem so excited about that fucking $50 ass blender, and nothing I bought you. I was like, well, this is because this actually does something
Yeah, it's
that is useful
useful.
to me.
It's like a man. It's useful.
I thought that blender was the coolest thing, and I straight up like a lot of women don't understand this shit. It is so rare that we as men receive gifts for anything,
Oh
and
yeah,
when you receive a gift from another dude, it's like it's heartwarming because it's like, damn, this guy spent his money
yeah,
thinking about me to buy me something, and it's that kind of bro thing that I thought was pretty cool. But yeah, a lot of my drinks were dude, the dude was so bad. I was getting oranges and putting vodka in them damn things. All of my meals were liquidated, and
yeah.
when I was living that way, dude, I was 195. I was toned up, and I rarely remember eating solid food because anything that I could put in that fucking blender, I was throwing in that blender.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to get right around. I'd like to get to 220, and I don't know if it's possible anymore, but we'll see after this month. And
I think I think it's possible, man. It just I'm envious of guys with that Broly body type because I'm lanky as fuck, man. I gotta like I'm like what a small big guy should be if that makes any sense.
yeah,
Big but not bigger than the other big guys, but still bigger than the average, kind of bloke. So it's just
yeah, that's
one of
always
those weird things.
my problem in life is when I do start living really healthy and doing those things, it's like I gain weight, and it's like just some kind of genetic bullshit that I hate. It's like if I get really sick, I lose weight and I look great, and it's like, but I'm sick. It's like,
Yeah, you can't starve yourself though. That's for sure.
Yeah,
That's the
man.
mistake people make. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you gotta I would say either up or lessen your water intake, depending. If it's just water, if you're just drinking water, you can drink water all day and maybe have one meal if that's your goal. But throw some snacks in there
yeah,
and whatnot. For me, I tried to lift and get muscles and everything, but something kind of funny happened to me. I had more muscles like on the back of my arm and my back than in the front, so that was kind of a weird freaking fucking phenomenon. But I just kind of do.
yeah.
I just gotta do I just do that. I guess I'm more concerned with just keeping a slender frame and keeping my weight under. So that's been an ongoing thing.
Yeah, I was always terrified that I was going to end up like one of those old men that were absolutely too skinny and they're really frail. But I can see that's probably not going to happen. It's like, but I get it. It's just something. There's going to be some magic bullet, the magic bullet blender. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just
Man,
sitting around here.
the
Corona.
blender.
If there's one thing a Corona winter will do, is make those potato chips look great.
And here's the truth, man. If hell, I'd sing you a blender if I could, man. That blender still managed to be one of the best damn gifts I ever got.
Yeah, yeah, I got one, and I got to pull it down. It's like blender's not something to do. It sits up in the shelf up there, and it looks good sitting there. When I pull that down at the end of the tomato growing season, and then
Oh yeah.
I pull the blenders down, and then I'll put like 6 tomatoes in there, and then I'll grind them and pour them into a bag, and then I freeze each one of them. And that way, I have fresh tomatoes for spaghetti for the whole season. In summer, I finished my last bag off like early this month. So it's like, oh man, I'm gonna miss that taste of fresh tomatoes, fresh basil and tomatoes, and it's like, yeah.
Yeah, I feel you on that one, man. It's I weeded out all the soda. I don't eat soda or chip. I was never a huge soda drinker, but I got rid of soda, chips, all of that, man.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just,
what I gotta do. Soda's my soda, coffee. I start drinking coffee with no sugar in it.
yeah. And to answer your question, RP, I'll drop this link for you. The reason I'm so worried about my frame is just because I don't need any more of these 20-year-old fuckers trying to fight me, man. My arms and legs are longer than a good majority of my body. I don't. That link is my body type. So when I have to fight these big lummox motherfuckers, like
Yeah.
it's just bad enough.
Well, that's what you got to worry about as a man. That's someone's gonna, you have to have enough weight for you so you can defend yourself because you know it's going to happen sooner or later. You're going to be in the
Oh yeah.
store and a couple teenagers are going to walk in and they're going to start saying it's like you got to be able to have enough weight or enough muscle left to at least defend yourself. And it's just going to have men are dicks, and sooner or later you're going to have to defend yourself.
Ain't the truth, man. When I was in my 20s, it wasn't so bad, but now I'm like in my 30s and everything. Dudes are starting to run mad flexes on me now. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
the pandemic, but yeah, I
Yeah.
got a little I don't have the same muscle definition as I did anymore. I'm more just kind of like lanky now, but it's just I notice it now. Like dudes are running like trying to flex on me and it's just it sucks to have to be like weaponized everywhere you go
Yeah.
at this point. Just 'cause I told him my knees hurt. Last dude tried to fall. My fucking god tried to fight me. This kid, he went out and lifted weights, and I call him a fucking ass guardian because he kind of looks like Thor now. That's his whole freaking thing, and
That's good.
I told him I'm happy for him. And he's like, "What if I try to fight you?" I was like, "Well, try to fight me, you ain't walking away from it. I will, but you ain't walking away from it."
Got to be the alpha. You got to explain the alpha thing to them. It's like your job now is when those teenagers walk into that store and they start picking on a little dude. Your job is to protect him, not to join in that, not to be that frat boy dick. It's just like no, you stand up for the little guys. That's the alpha. That's always in my life. I was that way. If I seen somebody picking on some old people, just the other week I was telling Joey as I seen this kid out and sort of trying to strong arm the old people coming in the grocery store. And it's like, no, I jumped.
Yeah,
Luckily, I think he would beat me up, but lucky he didn't want to go that far.
that's why I be trying to stay. I be trying to stay out of the way and everything, man. Like I'm not in the best. I'm not in terrible shape, but shit, if I could just drop 20 pounds, I'd be great. But I
Yeah,
didn't like my uncle told me about this, and I laughed because in my 20s, because when you're in your 20s, you think you're invincible as shit. But I noticed that as I get older, people that would have never tried to shit test me are now trying to shit test me.
right. Yeah, that same kind of person is just still testing you. Yeah, I
So
was
it's
right there too. I had dropped under. I was about 149, and then I was like 20 more pounds, and it'll be perfect. And then winter fucking screwed me up. The depression winter. There is a real thing in this area when you don't see the sun for feels like forever, and it gets rather depressing. And inside of buildings all the time, you're always in a building, and it's like there's no. It's like it'll make you crazy.
it really will, man. That's
Can't.
why I try to get 35-minute walk in the morning and 35-minute walk at night, just to kind of hiking and doing all the stuff,
Yeah,
just to kind of try to get my
yeah.
heart 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 rate pumping and everything, because this pandemic just has me sedentary, man. My biggest thing is I need to freaking stop drinking as much.
Yeah,
'Cause
drink the wind out of me too. My heartbeat's finally down. I looked at it the other day when I came back from the bike. I took it before it was at like 119 when I was riding, and then I got back in and I sat down and I grabbed a cup of tea and I sat down and I keep my monitor on, and then as soon as I got relaxed, it went down to like 79, and I was like, yes, finally, and it hit 76. I was like, good. It after Corona, I was like for at least well, up to this month, I couldn't get it under 82, 86.
Dang. That's why like different types of exercises. Like I try to do universal exercises because the extreme stuff that I see some of these guys doing, and to anyone watching this channel right now, watch out for those fitness people on the YouTube videos because a lot of them take hormones and a bunch of other shit. Like they're not get that six pack you see wasn't gained without any type of machinery.
No,
That's
yeah.
most dudes aren't built like that in general. At least some are, but most dudes don't. They don't have that build.
No, that was the andro testosterones are horrible for them, and it's like that's what they push on us now and everything. And those men, they do that, and they actually look kind of out of like it doesn't look natural.
Yeah, it looks unrealistic. You know, it's
Yeah,
kind of
it
like
looks
something.
like a woman got muscles.
Yeah, it does, man. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I don't-
that's what that stuff is for. It's andro. Andro is androgynous testosterone. They turn on the female testosterone receptors.
And what these guys don't understand, some of them, is the fact that they'll regret that shit later in life.
They
I
will
know
regret that. Yeah, they'll have a
when
hard time.
they get all flabby and shit, they're gonna regret that because I remember one time when I was younger, you know, I used to be able to just to go straight jog for a straight hour, no problem. Sometimes two, no problem.
Mhm.
And I remember one time I was at the gym, there was this dude that was talking mad shit about me because I wasn't lifting the same amount as him, and he was following me around everywhere. We call them gym douches back then. He would that's why I call him a damn gym douche because this is what he would do. And, you know, like in my mind, you know, I would just be counting, okay, like 42, 45. Every time a woman would walk by to the restroom, this is him. He'd go like, 1, 2, woman walks by, 98, 90. Oh my God. He would shout his freaking what he was repping the entire time, like loud enough for me to hear it. And I called him a freaking gym douche for that because it's just like,
Yeah, me and my buddy
wow.
that was living with, he still comes around a lot, and uh, Joey's met him. We laugh about that all the time. If he walks in and I'm doing my crunches or something, as soon as like he walks in, I'll be like 689, 689.
Who's that? Who's that you talking about?
My buddy Ryan.
Oh, okay, that kid Ryan. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
a
Ryan, you talking about Attic Ryan, London, Ryan?
no, not attic dweller. No, my buddy that lived here for a while.
Oh, that guy Ryan that lived there. Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as he walks in, or if I'm doing my bands, if I'm on 60, I'll be like 743, 700, and we'll start laughing. Oh, it's funny.
Yes. Hell, it's all.
But that's just
It's
making
all.
the gym.
Oh.
Yeah, you know, when I had a world membership gym, the silver package, and world gym, the silver package, and there's always the guys that hang out right next to the dead weights were next to the girls' locker room. And they're always just hanging out there. I was like, geez, you guys.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. You know, the funny part about it is I keep telling these dudes, I mean, yeah, it's great to take care of your body. I care about my frame just for, you know, for personal reasons and everything. But I tell these dudes, man, I've seen guys fat as fuck pull some of the hottest women just by being funny or just
Yeah.
by not giving a fuck. I mean, they had they had charisma and a radiant personality where people
Right.
genuinely liked them. And I tell dudes this all the time. I have never, in all my travels abroad or even in America, encountered a dude that was loved by women and hated by men. You are never going to encounter that because usually if somebody's liked by one gender, they're more or less kind of liked by the other two. It's
They
not,
have a personality with what they have.
yeah.
Yeah, women like huge men, and whether that's huge with a little fat or huge with like, but the bigger they like that, and like I say, that's just it, and it doesn't matter. He's got to have a personality and not be a bully, and but I think what's the toxic is like Joey called them, the Justin Bieber guys that we got. The smaller they get, they think that makes them better looking. It's like, no, women like big guys.
It's pretty crazy. I mean, I've even encountered some dudes that say like, "Oh, chicks dig a feminine guy." I don't know a single woman that digs a feminine dude. I mean, at all. And
Maybe they see them as targets or simps or something that they can prey on. That's probably more it, that they seem like easier targets to get what they want from. But I mean, we're at 210 now, huh? Yeah, that's usually about we're at like where are we at in this thing? People watching.
I've been trying to come up.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, you can go. You can go. No problem.
No, I was just gonna say, like, that's one of the, like, I was talking to a guy yesterday. He's talking about like getting women and stuff. I was just like laughing at the guy. Like, dude, it's like, just be yourself. First of all, just be yourself, and that's not like a manly thing to do. Like, being a PUA is like a really feminine thing to do. I mean, be yourself, and who gives a shit? Like, and why would you even want? I don't know. They don't even understand the concept of not getting involved with women in the first place. But but for these guys, they just come be yourself, and you do the PUA thing. That's gonna kill you, man. All the energy and money you're wasting and everything and time.
It's an act that where you're not even gaining money from, you're losing money to like put on a fucking facade that you can't keep up forever anyway. And so you might laugh when I tell you guys this, but when I started being just an outright asshole and just became like when I hit 30, started being an asshole, stopped giving a shit about everything, I was getting more pussy than I ever wanted, that I ever fucking wanted to gain. I just and this wasn't me pretending to be an asshole. This was me legit being an asshole.
Yeah.
I just didn't care one way or the other.
Yeah, how it works is you become naturally, Carhartt jacket and some work pants and everything, and it's more natural, and it is.
It's just I would just tell people how I felt about shit. Now I'm more or less the same way, man. I'm hitting that age where I don't even hold anything back. I mean, just that's why a lot of people don't want me on streams half the time. Like oh, he's always cussing and drunk and everything. He demonetized us. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
I shut down streams sometimes with that without even trying, man. I'm usually like the last man standing.
It's silly, you got to say it. It's like, okay, it's like there'll be some destruction coming now if they get silly on the stream, start simping, and like no.
They get mad because I'm costing them money, and I notice I'm not against people making money on YouTube, but be it Life Coach or Mgtow, I hate this specific thing that they do. They only answer or even read comments where the comments are giving them money. Little fucking Snapchat and shit. And I make fun of that because at that point it's just a job. I mean, the content that I make, I don't pump as much videos as I used to anymore, but everyone can tell you every video I do, it comes from the freaking heart. It comes from something like deep within. I don't be just throwing videos, and shit. But these guys, they've turned it into some kind of fucking 9-to-5 thing, and so that's just it's kind of lame to me. Yeah, they might make some money off of it, but it ain't about the money. It's about saving men, and
right.
And that's a respectful way to go about it too. I mean, if they had just been respectful about like, yo, I need a little cash, but no, it's like, okay, I need X amount of money, or I won't make my content anymore. And some guy did that to me. I told him to piss off. We don't need that kind of shit.
Oh, it pisses me off if they're asking for money and then they're going buying their girlfriend lattes, or shoes with it. Like, oh no, I don't do that. And
that's what they're mostly doing. And to all the people watching this, be it dating coach, life coach, and even some of the air quote Mgtow guys you give money to, the popular fuckers or whatever they call themselves, they're taking your money and they're spending it on bitches. I just want you to know that. They're spending it on women. The money you donate to them is dedicated to them like pimping women and scoring with them in true Beavis and Butthead fashion. Every time you give them that Snapchat money and their mind goes like this, I'm going to score. I'm going to score.
Fair. Oh, man. Yeah, I only do life coaching one thing. That's stab wounds. It's usually in the back.
Yeah. Angela Lansbury's keeping you in business.
Yeah, it's a stab wounds. I'm, life coach Joe, stab wounds. I can show you how to heal them real quick.
Hey,
Okay, well, I'm starting to get tired here, and I had quite a day today, and
no.
I think it's about time I shut this thing down.
No worries, man. Thanks for having me on. And before I go RP, that's like I think I might make a channel dedicated to that where I just call myself Don Cornelius Fuckboy Extraordinary. Gotta be simping all the way.
Yeah, that would be funny. A lot of the guys, I don't know if they get it. It's like some of them would get it and just be laughing. I'm just gonna come out one day with my shirt off.
Hell, man, I'll freaking join you. I'll just put some freaking turn on my camera, put some honey on the table. Now, to truly get the women, you have to drink this molasses. You can't hold back. Drink all the molasses, and you'll have the women over you like bees on honey.
I'll sell in the low bar. I would have some kind of men's stuff, Hit that low bar and buy that product, and you can be just like me.
Like Chris Cantu. Chris Cantu with ChrisCantu.com. The red pill on steroids.
Oh God, they were selling that. What were they selling? The Viagra and
I don't know what they doing, like a Mgtow coin or something. Or
Mgtow coin, and then they all had the low bar. They had the things for Viagra and just all sorts that you could just it was like some strange it wasn't even going through the USDA. It was from some other country that they got bulk. They're putting, I think they were making it themselves. It's like, Jesus. Oh, that was hilarious. Okay, well, we're not that way, and I'm glad. I'm just not a hypocrite, and I hope everybody keeps safe. And that's all I really want is all my friends and everybody I run into this, they learn something and keep themselves safe, and they're not harmed by this world to the point where they get jaded. And I want to thank each and every one of these guys for coming around. Thanks, Joey. Thanks, Black Wolf. Thanks, RP and Hank, and thanks, Eric, and who else is in here? Thank all the guys for coming around, and most of all, thanks for being Mgtow. Without Mgtows, I would be the only Mgtow, and that would suck. And thanks most of all for being Mgtows. Mgtow. You're supposed to say you said it.
I did last time, but you cut it off early or something.